You are watching the GameThreads.com Clan Invitational, cast by myself, Totalbiscuit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SHOUTcraft. Satiini in the dirty blue trunks, as I like to call them. I don't even know what color this is. It's just sort of... I'd like to say light blue, but it's not all that light. It's a bit murky, isn't it? We're going to call it that. He is playing for Team Virus, and he is playing Terran. Versus SelecT in the red trunks, up to the top of the Xel'Naga caverns right here. For Team Dignitas, he is also playing Terran. SelecT took the first game in a commanding manner via the use of a very aggressive, and I do mean incredibly aggressive strategy involving a proxy barracks. Like, let's just pretend that this was steps away. Hell, he could probably pull off the same thing right here, although the run distance is a little bit longer. Place proxy barracks right here, continue to apply pressure down here. I'm still trying to figure out exactly why Satiini keeps building a Reaper, because it never actually does anything. Whatever the case, SelecT took the first game, Satiini took the second, after continued harassment by SelecT proved to be the breaking point for Satiini that he said, you know what, screw it, I've got tanks, I'm just going to go and batter down your front door. And it turns out SelecT actually didn't have anything to respond to that with at all. So, I would call that a little bit problematic. Well, SelecT. What you gonna do? Are you gonna pull off the same nonsense you did in the first game? You never know. It is a possibility. Trying to think of whether would it work here? Yeah, I don't see why not. It could be quite easily spotted by a Xel'Naga watchtower if you're not careful. You'd have to be very careful with the placement of it, but there you go. SelecT incredibly quick scout right there. Spots nothing unusual. Little bit of harassment, forcing his opponent. You know, this is the nice thing about doing harassment with a SCV initially. If you have a look at the difference in income, SelecT has a slight advantage because he forces two SCVs to not be mining, yeah, because you've got to take an extra SCV off the line to deal with that SCV, so, yeah. It's good. It's a good little bit of play, good little bit of harassment, gives you a little bit of extra advantage early on, especially prudent in mirror matches, because you can predict more accurately what your opponent's going to have in any particular stage of the game, because you can rate it, as opposed to what you have. There you go. SelecT's got plenty of cash. Actually goes through an orbital command center on 15, which is a little bit early, but there you go. Feels like he can. Now, Satiini, a smart move, drops his bunker down there. If SelecT went with the same strategy as he did in the first game, a bunker would have shut it down. Satiini didn't see it coming. He didn't really know how to deal with it, and he faltered as a direct result of that. But we're not seeing any sign of that happening right now for SelecT. SelecT's going to fast expand by the looks of it. There you go. Very nice and quick. A sensible idea, considering Satiini is a little bit behind in terms of economy, not by much, and he is playing quite defensively. Factory on the way out as well. We could see in the same situation, though. If he starts rolling siege tanks against that expansion and SelecT doesn't have what he needs to deal with it, then that will be good game, as it is said. How do you counter siege tanks? Well, you can counter them with other siege tanks, I guess. It's always nice. Bear in mind that for the defensive player, it's very helpful. SelecT, actually, though, is diversifying from the build that Satiini's going. He's going double barracks, possibly into 3 barracks, to continue a little bit of aggression. Try and keep his opponent on the back foot. Will it work against this strategy that he's got going on right here with a little bit of defense going on? Yeah, absolutely. It can, if he's pumping out a lot of Marauders as opposed to a lot of Marines. It's some pressure in there. Starport coming out straight away. So, the thing with this build, the 1-1-1 as it's called, you've got all sorts of different things you can actually do with it. It's a very flexible build. You can transition it to pretty much anything, and you can react to things quite easily. Now, was that expansion scouted? It was not. I have to wonder whether or not he actually suspects that. I think maybe he does, honestly, considering the fact that there wasn't an awful lot down in the base by that point. It's very likely that he suspects an expansion. There you go, Tech Lab coming up. 3 barracks approach for SelecT. He's well guarded on all of those different areas right now. Okay, we're looking for a swap. What are we going to see swap-wise? Yes, there you go. Straight into Banshees for Satiini by the looks of it. Banshees and then follow it up with siege tanks. Sounds like a good idea. Get a little bit of harassment on early, which will be very helpful, of course, against this expansion. Quite vulnerable right now. Those Marines are spread out very thinly indeed, especially if SelecT decides he wants to go and apply a lot of pressure, do a lot of damage early on with those Marines, take them out of the base, and then, of course, Banshee comes around the side, snipes off all your SCVs, and you're very, very upset about the whole affair. Very, very upset. Stimpack on the way up for SelecT. Very sensible, very predictable, honestly. Oh, almost takes the Hellion. Go around the side right there, but it's not going to be quite enough for it. Oh, Hero Marine! Nice catch there by SelecT. Very, very good indeed. Hellion runs right into a well-placed trap by SelecT. Single Marine takes out the Hellion. Looks into the jaws of death and takes him out. Very good. There you go. Now, Satiini has a Banshee up in the air. That's where it is right now. Thing is, there's a lot of Marines around here. He hasn't, of course, gone for Cloak. Not wise in a Terran versus Terran anyway, and very expensive at this stage of the game. Very pricey to do it, very risky, as that puts your opponent massively ahead of you in terms of gas. And this early on in the game, that kind of matters. There you go, Banshee. Can we sneak in on it? He looks for it. SelecT doesn't quite get it. Does a little bit of damage, a little bit of harassment on the Banshee. SelecT is ready for it, though. Missile turret coming up. There you go. Blasting away at that. He's not going to be able to stop that missile turret. SelecT getting those Marines sniped off, though. There you go. Missile turret. Banshee effectively shut down, at least on the expansion right now. Another Banshee up in the air. He's still going to persist with this strategy. In the meantime, he's rolling siege tanks and siege tech, trying to keep SelecT bottled in, which is a very good idea. SelecT has this tendency of killing everything if you don't do that. There you go. 4 barracks. And a factory on the way up. Lot of aggression coming in. What is the economy like? SelecT is, without question, ahead. No expansion right now for Satiini. Spending an awful lot of minerals and gas, but he does finally decide to expand. He's going to be behind for the next couple of minutes, though. No question about that. Will SelecT be able to capitalize on that? That's what really matters. Can he capitalize on the fact that his opponent has less cash? Well, right now, Satiini does have a potent force moving in. Banshee's in a supporting role this time, instead of as harassment units. And yes, it does work. No question. Here's the deployment. Oh, yeah, and using the Banshees as a spotter this time. Barracks could come down right there. SelecT pulling everything off the line right there. SelecT is actually in a lot of trouble, honestly. He really, really is, because he actually doesn't have anything to do. Oh, my God, I think actually SelecT might have lost this. There you go. He didn't have anything to counter that with, once again. This is bizarre for SelecT. SelecT is usually way more aggressive than this, and it evidently works an awful lot better when he is. SelecT now getting his base gutted right now. Hiding those SCVs, trying to keep them off the line. I'm not convinced he's going to be able to deploy anything in order to make that happen. He's pulling all of his SCVs down there. Bunker's coming up in the base. There you go. SelecT is charging in. It's not nice, is it? It's not nice. And there's no way that's going to be enough by SelecT either. Continues to spawn as many Marines as possible. He's getting them picked off. Good game! Ladies and gentlemen, Virus takes it. Satiini takes it for Virus. 2-1 in this best of 5 Clan War series.